And now we're ready to move on to the next level of this module. So in the first level of the module, we were working with unit rates. And in each example or in each problem, we were looking at how many of a smaller container would it take to fill a singular larger container. And it was always one individual larger container. So for the next section of this module, we are going to be looking at how many of these smaller containers can we use to fill up multiple larger containers. So for our first example, we're going to be looking at pints and cups. And what we want to find out is how many cups would it take to fill up 2 pints. Thankfully, we can use our knowledge of unit rates in order to solve this. So when we were working with unit rates, the unit rate for a pint is that there are 2 cups for 1 pint. Now, if I have 2 pints, how many cups would we need? Let's test that out. So now I have 2 pints, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in my cups. So I have 1 cup of water, 2 cups of water, and so those 2 cups of water have filled up my 1 pint. But now I actually have 2 pints, so I'm going to need to fill up the second pint container as well. So this is my 3rd cup of water, and then a 4th cup of water. All right, so this one is now also filled up. So for 2 pints, I had 4 cups of water. So if you think about it again, our unit rate was that 1 pint was 2 cups. Now that I have 2 pints, that's going to take up 4 cups of water. So let's look at the math behind this so that we know that our unit rate is that 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. So then if we have 2 pints, then how many cups would that be equal to? Well, for each pint, we would need 2 cups. So if we had 2 pints, then that would be equal to 4 cups. Another way that we can look at this is by creating a ratio table. And if we created a ratio table of pints and cups, and we said for 1 pint, we have 2 cups, and then for 2 pints, we have 4 cups. And we could look for a pattern between the numbers. And it looks like whatever we have for pints, if we multiply that by 2, that's how many cups we're going to need. So 2 pints times 2 is going to then be 4 cups. And if we wanted to extend that out, we could look at more. We could say that 3 pints, following that same pattern of times 2, would then get us to 6 cups. And then 4 pints times 2 would get us to 8 cups. And we could continue that pattern on.